Oh my God, that baby's so tiny.
What are you doing?
Do some space.
7:30? 7:30?
7:30. That's gotta be.
Hey, it is 7:30.
And I don't know what's on the TV
Why
right
don't I
now.
just say that it will be coming, all right?
Oh no, Brandon, we're watching.
Call the regular meeting of the Board of Aldermen to order on Tuesday, October 26, 2021, at 7:30 PM in the Aldermanic Chamber and via Zoom teleconference, which meeting link can be found on the agenda and on the city's website calendar. Prayer will be offered by Deputy City Clerk Allison Waite, and Alderman Dowd will lead us in the pledge to the flag.
Almighty God, we have the high honor and the serious duty to manage the affairs of our beloved city. Fill us, O God, with a spirit of unity and understanding which enables us to face our multiple problems with a serene mind, with justice and charity for all, so that any and all decisions made by us will always be for the betterment and greater happiness of all our fellow citizens. So help us God. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's start the meeting by taking a roll call attendance. If you're participating via Zoom, please state your presence, reason for not attending the meeting in person, and whether there is anyone in the room with you during this meeting, which is required under the right to know law. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Present.
Alderman Clee. Here. Alderwoman Kelly. Alderman Dowd.
Present.
Alderman Karen.
Here.
Alderman Clemons.
I am here, I'm participating via Zoom. I'm in the room by myself, and the reason that I am participating via Zoom is I have work obligations.
Alderman Lopez.
Here.
Alderman Tenza.
Present.
Alderwoman Lou.
Here.
Alderman Jettie.
Here.
Alderman Schmidt.
I am here at my home office. I'm alone in the room and I'm having a bit of a problem with a knee brace.
Alderman Laws.
I'm here, I'm participating by Zoom, and I'm watching a sick baby.
Alderman Cleaver.
Here via Zoom. I'm alone in the room and I'm participating via Zoom because of mobility issues.
Alderman Harriet Gathright.
Present.
And Alderman Wiltshire.
Present.
You have 10 in attendance and 4 via Zoom.
Thank you. Also with us this evening is Mayor Jim Donches and Corporation Counsel Steve Bolton. Mayor, did you wish to address the board this evening?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. A few things that I wanted to mention. First, just an update on the COVID situation. The numbers indicate, of course, we're still in substantial transmission and they continue to rise, although gradually, but the positivity rate, in other words, the percentage of people who get tested, who test positive or they have COVID, is 6.9%. That's up a little bit from a week ago and certainly higher than it was a couple of months ago. The number of, another metric, another measurement is the number of new cases that arise in a period of 14 days per 100,000 population. That number for us now is slightly over 400, about 404. Previously, that had been in the 300s. So numbers are going up. Again, we need to continue to exercise caution, look out for the large groups, especially without masks. Vaccines and vaccinations, of course, are a way to prevent the spread of the disease and to protect yourself, your family, and your friends. Now, there will be coming to you a proposed policy regarding the use of sick leave. This will be accompanied by a memo from Bobby Bagley, Director of Community Health. What's being proposed is that for people who are fully vaccinated and who need to be out as a result of a COVID infection, they would not be required to use their sick leave during the period of their absence. The policy, though, would provide that for someone who is not vaccinated and who contracts COVID and needs to be out, they would need to use their sick time. And the purpose of this policy would be, of course, to encourage people to become fully vaccinated. Now, this will be coming to you with a memo from Bobby Bagley, and we would be looking for you to approve this probably at your next meeting, but that will be coming. Also, at the state level, you might have noticed that on the issue of vaccines, that the State Executive Council turned down $27 million of vaccine money. Public Health was looking forward to receiving some of that money and using it to reach out and get more people vaccinated here in Nashua. New Hampshire is the only state in the union to have turned down that money. So, of course, that is unfortunate. Other issues, Madam President, that I wanted to mention are some questions came up last night at the Budget Committee regarding R21-178, having to do with the reallocation of some of the master plan money into the purpose of preparing the changes to the land use code that would incorporate the concepts that were adopted in the master plan. And and Matt Sullivan is here, Planning Director, to answer any questions, but there were questions asked by committee members last night, I know. This was contemplated from the beginning, that part of this money would be used to make the land use draft and propose the land use changes that would be necessary to implement the master plan. And the reason this is going out to an RFP and to an outside contractor is that it is a massive amount of work, that it is much more than the legal department could do in the course of its normal duties or the planning department. And it was always contemplated that an outside contractor would be needed to do this. Utile, who was the consultant who helped us work through the master plan and engage with the community, doesn't really do this kind of thing, or doesn't care to. I mean, they're more into the development of the plan, and the drafting of the legal language would be by an outside contractor. That would, of course, come to the Finance Committee. A couple of other things, Madam President. This is Red Ribbon Week. The National Prevention Coalition, of course, is spearheading that, and this is encouraging young people not to use any kind of substances or addictive drugs of any kind. The Prevention Coalition held their annual event at Leda Lanes last night and was attended by a number of young people. Some of them.
I think you just went off mic. I had a nervous breakdown.
None of them are working, Jim.
Yeah, want to reboot it, Donna? I bet.
Yeah, she can't.
Hello? Okay. Thank you very much for helping us. The Prevention Coalition held their annual event with a group of young people from the middle school and high school schools around the city at Leda Lanes last night, and that was, of course, a very nice event as usual. And finally, Madam President, I wanted to mention the results of the Your Voice, Your Choice project. This is a project this is the second time we've run it in the Tree Streets, and the neighborhood gets together, develops a group of projects, and then votes on how those projects, which of those projects should be implemented, given the funds that we've allocated. There were about 8 or 10 projects that were voted on. And the top vote getter was improvements to Los Amigos Park on Ash Street. Alderman Lopez was very involved with this and has been each year we've done it. And I think he predicted that Los Amigos would probably be the successful project.
Though, just so you know.
Hello, Sarah Marchant, who is the Community Development Director, and unfortunately, we discussed last week, will be leaving soon. But at one point, she told me this would. Hello.
Does anybody else have anything? I don't have anything.
Talk into it, I may not, because I thought mine.
Half of the mics are working. And
Hello?
the other half-
Not on?
Sporadic.
At the same level?
He was asking if they're, I don't know if it's coming through, but he's asking if they're at the
Yes.
same.
All in meeting. Put it up a little bit.
She's going to try to put it up a little bit.
Hello? Okay. I just have a sentence to go, really. I was just going to say that Sarah Marchant mentioned to me that this project made her feel better than anything else she'd worked on for the city of Nashua. So 337 people voted, and I think we got a good result, and we will make a significant improvement to the neighborhood. So that's all I have, Madam President.
Thank you, Mayor. Response to the remarks of Mayor. I'll start on this side. Alderman Lopez.
Yeah, I want to thank the mayor for recognizing the Your Choice, Your Voice project and Director Marchand for organizing it. I wanted to add that to the people who submitted ideas that didn't meet the top criteria, this is an opportunity to continue working on them. So there were some ideas about improvements to the rail trail that this process creates attention to, and if the city can work on it through other means and other ways, then we do. An example of that, the second runner-up was the Ash Street Skate Park, one of the oldest ones in the state. And there was a very good community effort to try to champion that cause. They were organized a little bit late, but it did yield some interest from some private partners who want to kind of further the equipment there and some opportunities. So we will continue to try to work on that. So if your project wasn't necessarily the one that was voted on the most by the community, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It means that we can work together and that you've raised awareness of it, and that the champions that brought those projects forward can continue to work on them, and we can probably still see a lot of them done. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none? Recognition period.
There are none.
Reading minutes of previous meetings. With no objection, I'll declare the minutes of the regular Board of Aldermen and special Board of Aldermen meetings of October 7th, October 12th, and October 14th, 2021 be accepted, placed on file, and the reading suspended. Communications requiring only procedural actions and written reports from liaisons.
Communications have been received from Lisa A.
Excuse-
Photo, Director of Public Works.
Excuse me, Jim, did you just say we lost audio again? He said, yes, we've lost audio.
We gotta get this fixed.
I agree.
There's no way to run business here.
Is it under warranty?
I can,
There better
Jim,
be-
I can hear them through my headset. Could this just be you?
No, I think this is just you and I talking over, stand by, please. Just one moment.
We didn't take the phone call that.
Tim O'Neill says the audio's still coming through for television.
So is it not coming through for recording?
Well, for the recording, we'll hear it. If we hear it in the control room, then the recording is hearing it.
Okay.
They're gonna continue.
Madam Clerk?
Communications have been received from Lisa A. Photo, Director of Public Works, regarding referrals from Board of Aldermen R21-165, R21-166, and R21-169, and from Dorothy Clark Esquire regarding R21-181, authorizing Pennachuck Corporation and Pennachuck East Utility, Inc. to enter into a loan with CoBank ACB.
There being no objection, I'll accept the communications, place them on file, and refer Attorney Clark's memo to the Pennachuck Water Special Committee. Period for public comment relative to items expected to be acted upon this evening. No one has signed up. Communications requiring final approval.
There are none.
Nominations, appointments, and elections.
There are none.
Reports of committees. There being no objection, I will declare the reports of the September 30th, 2021, October 7th, 2021, work study group relative to police commissioners be accepted and placed on file. There being no objection, I'll declare the report of the October 6th, 2021 Budget Review Committee be accepted and placed on file. There being no objection, I'll declare the report of the October 6th, 2021 Finance Committee be accepted and placed on file. There being no objection, I will suspend the rules to allow for the oral report of the Budget Review Committee meeting held Monday, October 25th, 2021, regarding resolutions R21-177 and R21-178. Alderman Dowd.
Yes, last evening we had a budget meeting and in regard to the two resolutions, R21-177, R21-178, and I believe both passed unanimously and are ready for action this evening.
Okay, thank you. Confirmation of mayor's appointments.
There are none.
Unfinished business resolutions.
Second reading of Resolution R21-177 relative to the supplemental appropriation of $250,000 of FY 2021 assigned fund balance into Fund Number 6500, Property and Casualty Self-Insurance Fund.
Alderman Jettie.
I move for a final passage of R 21-177 by roll call, and I'd like to be heard on it.
Alderman Jettie.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Most of you were at the public hearing last night and heard the presentation, but for those of you who weren't, and for the public who is listening in or watching, this resolution is to transfer $250,000 from an assigned fund balance to the Property and Casualty Self-Insurance Fund. So the city is self-insured. So unlike most businesses or most people who have insurance and pay premiums to insurance companies, from my legal practice, someone pointed out, I don't know if this is true or not, but someone pointed out to me that insurance companies are not in the business of paying claims. They're in the business of collecting premiums and investing those premiums into, for the benefit of their share.
Oh, I think the groan was because they lost the hearing.
It was a groan of joy.
The audio through the television broadcast is working just fine. What we seem to be having an issue with is the audio in Zoom. But the broadcast is fine. The audio is there.
Okay. You can continue, Alderman Jettie.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alderman on Zoom.
So unlike most businesses and most people who pay premiums to insurance companies, and then the insurance company manages and pays whatever claims there might be, the city, through years of experience, has determined that it is more cost-effective for the city. It costs less money, in other words, for the city, rather than paying an insurance company premiums. Three claims that where some of our employees were very badly injured and required extensive medical bills. And in workers' compensation cases, as long as they can't work, then the city has to pay them, I think it's 60% now of their salary. And so we're never sure how long that's going to last. So our consultants have recommended that we add an additional $250,000 to this fund, just to make sure that we have a sufficient amount of money. And I should point out that workers' compensation is a no-fault system, so that when an employee is injured, if it's work-related, it doesn't mean that the city did anything wrong, doesn't mean the employee did anything wrong. It's just that an employee got injured while working, under workers' compensation law, the law is designed to take care of people when they get injured at work. So that's a long-winded, I thought it was going to be a lot shorter, but that's my explanation for why it's necessary to take this action. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Jettie. Anyone else? Any questions? Anyone on Zoom?
Alderman Cleaver.
Yes.
R21-178, changing the use.
R21-178 by roll call, and I'd like to briefly speak to it.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes, this went through budget last night unanimously, and as was explained very well by the mayor at the beginning of the meeting, this was to just change the use of the funds to steer it more towards the master plan land use code from the master plan. And this will help us get started on the much-needed land use code update.
Thank you. Any discussion? No one on Zoom? No. Okay, seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Karen.
Yes.
Alderman Clemons. Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Tenza.
Yes.
Alderwoman Lou.
Yes.
Alderman Jettie.
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt. Alderman Laws. Alderman Cleaver. Alderman Harriet Gathright.
Yes.
And Alderman Wilshire.
Yes. I'm wondering if they can't hear us.
Alderman Cleaver votes yes.
Okay.
If they're watching the TV, there's probably a delay.
Alderman Clemons
Alderman
votes
Schmidt just
yes.
voted yes, too.
Okay.
What about?
Yep, Ben and Alderman Laws.
Can you hear us out there? I don't think they can again. Oh, no, they can. Okay.
I think it runs like a minute behind.
Okay. As of now, that's 12 yeas and 0 nays.
Okay, that motion carries and resolution 21-178 is Gathright. Given its first reading, I'll assign that.
First reading of Resolution R21-180, approving the cost items of a sidebar memorandum of agreement between the City of Nashua Board of Fire Commissioners.
Additional sponsors. Alderman O'Brien, Alderman Clee, Alderman Dowd, Alderman Karen, Alderman Lopez, Alderman Harriet Gathright, myself, and Alderman Cleaver, who says yes. Okay, given its first reading, I'll assign that to the Budget Review Committee.
First reading of Resolution R21-181, authorizing Pennachuck Corporation and Pennachuck East Utility, Inc. to enter into a loan with CoBank ACB.
Additional sponsors, Alderman O'Brien, Alderman Dowd, Alderman Karen, Alderman Harriet Gathright, Alderman Lopez. Okay, given its first reading, I'll assign that to the Pennachuck Water Special Committee. New business ordinances.
First reading of ordinance O21-072, authorizing free holiday parking at meters in Zone 3, which includes the Elm Street and High Street parking garages from December 6, 2021 through January 1st, 2022.
Additional sponsors. Alderman O'Brien, Alderman Clee, Alderman Dowd, Alderman Karen, Alderman Lopez, Alderman Cleaver, Alderman Tenza, Alderwoman Lou, Alderman Harriet Gathright, and myself. Anyone else on Zoom? Given its first reading, I'll assign that to the Committee on Infrastructure. Period for general public comment. We have 2 speakers signed up this evening. The first is Jim Tolnar. You're all set? Okay. Lori Orlano.
Lori Ortolano, 41 Berkeley Street. I want to thank the Board of Aldermen members who brought forth the letter to the editor, or the op-ed that was published in the Telegraph and Union Leader for the no vote for the charter change for the police commission. I think that was appreciated by many of us, and it's helpful in providing some education, further education to the community. Secondly, I'd like to address, I'd like the Board of Aldermen to maybe take an interest in looking at employee turnover in the city. I found out that there is no tracking of turnover for employees in any of the departments, and I think it's important to know the health of your workforce and why they're going. We did have a letter read into the record a few meetings ago that attributed turnover in some areas to a group of citizens being too harsh or direct in trying to understand what was going on. I don't think that can really be validated. And I think your process for exit interviewing needs to be reviewed, because I don't think the department head who the employees work for should be conducting the exit interview. I think it should be done somewhere else. I can tell you, if you recall, when the police department investigated the assessing office and they interviewed staff, if you look at those interviews, there were 3 or 4 staff members that said and expressed in those interviews that they didn't agree with the removal of a chief, and they felt that a chief had to be brought back. But that had not been raised at that point by the administration, because I don't think they felt comfortable telling the boss who made the decision to remove them to bring that individual back. So I'm not certain what free dialogue you get, and if people are leaving or moving on to jobs that are staying in the field, within their field, they may not freely talk about why they exited from a city job. So I think it's important for us to understand that and to gather that information from all departments in the city and assess the health of our city government and our departments. And I would encourage you to start asking for those types of reports and tracking what's happening within the city. Thank you.
Remarks by members of the board. I'll start on this side tonight. Alderman Jettie.
I just wanted to let the people out there know that we are aware of these audio problems that we're having, and that I know the staff is working hard and trying to figure out what the problem is, and I encourage them to do whatever it takes to solve this problem. My wife messaged me saying that she could not hear the speech that I gave, and very disappointed.
Do it again.
And she was lucky.
For
her,
I'll give her
do it
that
again.
speech tonight when I get home. But I hope we can solve this problem.
Alderman Lou.
Thank you. I'd like to just address the vote next week. Next Tuesday, voters will decide whether our city would be improved by changing who appoints the police commissioners. These police commissioners approve the procedures that ensure that eligibility for being hired, promoted is determined by merit and not by influence or loyalty. 130 years ago, the city voters removed the power of appointment from the city elected officials, and they placed it with the governor. Reporters for the Nashua Standard at that time, which was a newspaper with a wide circulation for nearly 100 years, quoted residents who believed that the then current system in which elected officials appointed the police commissioners had resulted in corruption and political favoritism in the police department. Since that decision to allow the governor to appoint city residents to the police commission, our police department has developed into one of the most highly respected agencies in the country. Our high CLIA certification signifies the strength of the department's policies and procedures in identifying quality candidates, in officer development and retention, and promotion based on merit. Also, since that time, our police department has been responsive and efficient in identifying and thoroughly investigating crimes, even when committed by elected officials. This is in part because our current system allows city elected officials no leverage to influence investigation or the hiring and promotions within the department. We've heard time to join the 20th century, and everyone else is doing it, and there's no corruption here. None of these statements demonstrate that a vote to change the manner that Nashua residents are appointed to our police commission would benefit our city. In fact, it's nearly impossible to prove what would happen here if things were different. If police departments are successfully intimidated by pressure to hire or promote without merit elsewhere in New Hampshire, how would we know? Anecdotal evidence does suggest that it happens all the time in other communities. In those communities where elected officials appoint police commissioners, a lack of reported corruption says as much about what comes to light under this system as it does about any freedom from political influence that system creates. A change of this type should not be a gamble. Change is not always good. So it's our difficult responsibility on Tuesday to decide whether the person elected to the seat of governor has acted fairly and appointed judiciously, giving consideration to the stated opinions and needs of our city. Our city leaders can express the need for female representation or minority representation on the board. They did not do that this year when it was time to consider the seat of the commissioner whose term had expired. Our city leaders did not do that last year or the year before. Today, our police commission is composed of 3 residents of Nashua, each who have at one time written a letter of interest to the governor, who then interviewed them and reviewed their qualifications. These individuals were appointed or reappointed most recently by a governor who won 60% of the ballots cast in Nashua. This governor won a majority in every ward in Nashua. And this governor has not been heavy-handed in his appointments. In a city whose elected Board of Aldermen and mayor are all Democrats, he reappointed the selections made by Maggie Hassan, his Democratic predecessor. No other names were put forward from Nashua elected officials. Proponents of this change say that a change will give Nashua better control of the police budget. In this budget season, the police department proposed to budget 1.7% over the request of Mayor Donchis. City Hall, meanwhile, submitted a budget 2.7% below last year's budget. And the City Hall departments were praised, held up as examples by the mayor. Examples of thrift, cooperation, and fiscal responsibility. Mayor Donchis then submitted a bill to give himself the power to appoint and remove police commissioners. In October, Mayor Donchis announced that of the $10.5 million of surpluses from budgeted funds from 2021 fiscal year, which ended June 30th, $2.4 million would go back to City Hall, essentially bringing funding for City Hall divisions not down by 2.7 at all, but up to an increase of 5.3%. When our mayor compares our city department's budgets, praising one and expressing displeasure at another, he divides and intimidates. When surplus is used as an enticement in this way to create a narrative of a runaway police budget, then political influence is on display. This is what it looks like. This referendum item is not needed to control budgets, and it's not needed to gain diversity of race and gender on our boards. Please vote no on Tuesday. Thank you.
Alderman Tenza.
Thank you. And so speaking of folks who have left the city recently, I just wanted to congratulate Director Justin Cates, who has left emergency management. In my time on the board, Director Cates has really impressed me as someone who is just thorough and diligent and a real asset to the city. Like Director Marchant, I think he is choosing to pursue other opportunities, but certainly he will be missed here in the city, and there will be big shoes to fill for whomever comes in and takes over his position. I always felt, I was, like Director Marchant, I was just amazed at his budget presentations, how thorough he was and how really, how much he knew about emergency management. I always felt that the city was in really good hands if there was ever emergency that we needed to respond to, as well as his dedication to making Nashua a more resilient city, because we know that unfortunately in the future there are going to be climate events that are going to affect us. But if we plan and work together as a city, we'll be able to get through them just fine. Also, I just want to wish everybody a happy and healthy Halloween this Sunday night. Hopefully people can go out and enjoy their trick-or-treating. Even last year, given that it's a holiday with that we're all masked up anyways, we could go out and enjoy the outdoors. But even this year, it's important to stay safe and remember that that we can still that we should still be safe as we're going around. And then finally, I think that next Tuesday is an important day. Thank you to Clerk Lovering and her staff and all the volunteers in advance for all the work that they're going to do over the next week to get us ready for this election. I think in a lot of ways, this election and every election is about what kind of tone we want to set for the city, what kind of leaders we want sitting around here and filling all of our other positions within the city. So please, every election is important. It's a privilege for us that we get to go out and choose our elected officials. So if you are around or if you're not around next Tuesday, please come out and vote and make your vote heard. Thank you.
Alderman Lopez.
I just wanted to comment that last night Nashua Fire managed to put down a fire at Kinsey House of Pizza. This is the second fire in 2 days that has displaced residents. So I would just caution residents and urge them, check your smoke detector batteries, make sure that you're keeping clutter away from heaters. Just be careful. As the weather gets colder and we start to turn heaters on, and there's more risk. And Nashua Fire is quick and they're fast and they get the job done and they save lives. They even managed to save the cat, but it's still destruction of property. It's dangerous and it puts our firefighters in danger. So please just take whatever steps you can to mitigate the risk wherever you can. And then I also, a week from Thursday is going to be Veterans Day. We are having a Veterans Day parade. I'm working with a group of neighbors who are also trying to make sure that we're doing a meal for veterans who are staying over at Delena's house. So if anybody would like to participate, you can buy a meal for veterans over at Joanne's Kitchen. It's right around the corner here. $5 will buy them a ham dinner, macaroni and cheese, Southwest style corn. So help us make that a great event for everybody.
Alderman Clemons.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll be brief. I just wanted to remind everyone, go out and vote on Election Day, which is coming up on Tuesday, November 2nd, so it's coming Tuesday. Normally I keep off my, you'll probably notice I keep off my camera because what I joke is that, well, it's not Halloween, I don't want to scare people, but now that it is, I figured I'd turn it on real quick. Say hello to everybody. Wish everybody a happy Halloween. Here I am. I'm just joking. Happy Halloween, everyone. Thanks.
Alderman Karen.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to echo Alderman Tenz's remarks concerning voting. It is your right if you're looking for changes within any boards, commissions, or in this circle. This is the time for you to be heard, and whatever happens, and we wish everyone good luck next Tuesday. And also, please remember that people who are working the wards, they are there at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock plus at night. So be kind to them. They're going to do the best they can under the circumstances that we have because of the protocols that are in place. So just be patient, always be patient. So I appreciate that, and also, happy Halloween, everyone. Get out there and carve your pumpkins.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes, some good news. The middle school project is moving along very well. We have completed the acquisition of the final piece of property. It's been registered and recorded, so we're good to go. The only thing we're waiting for now is the final AOT approval from the state of New Hampshire, and we will be starting the new middle school. Fairgrounds has been completed, and you'll all be getting an invitation to the rededication ceremony, which should be, I believe, the first week of November, but you'll get an invitation. It's, that school turned out exceptionally well, and we finally get all of the new furniture, so it's been a good program. And Pennachuck Middle School is well underway. The South Edition is moving along very well and is due to be ready in April. And the North Edition, barring all this rain and weather, we're hoping to pour the cement foundation. So that's going very well. It will be completed at the end of next summer. Also, in that same area, the Pennachuck Waterworks, their solar farm is underway. And they're getting all the land ready, and also the power company is putting up several utility poles on the Pennachuck land, and there's quite a bit of work that'll be happening there at the start, right near the entrance to the school, but that's all Pennachuck's project, so Pennachuck Waterworks. So, thank you.
Anyone else? Alderman Clee.
Thank you, Madam President. I just have two quick things. One is I'm looking forward to Halloween and praying that it doesn't rain. It's one of my favorite times of the year, and this year feels like it'll be a little bit more normal from last year. And I wanted to echo what Alderman Jettie had said. I got two text messages, one from Alderman Schmidt, who tried getting off and coming back on as well to see if that helped. And I think the same was with Alderman Laws. They were having a hard time with the audio. It just kept kicking in and out. And I wish your wife luck with your speech. It was very worth listening to. And my husband said that he'll just talk to your wife to get the highlights, so. But thank you.
Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to recognize the mayor. I know we had amplification, microphone issues during his remarks by the mayor, but sitting next to you at my new hearing aids, you sounded pretty good to me, so you did all right. But you muddled through correctly. I too did hear from one particular citizen that says a way of tracking people who leave the city. But just to remind, it might need to be explored. In this state, it's employees at will. So that means employees and employers can leave or stay with not much. And I don't know if we really can legally track them, but it needs to be investigated and to take a look unless there's some other venue. And then I also would like to recognize, as what Alderman Tenza said, just in case, who was our emergency preparedness director. I had the pleasure as being the deputy fire chief of working with him for several years. When I first heard that he came on board, when they told me his name was just in case as emergency preparedness, I thought making it up, but he had the most perfect name for the position, you know. But top of his name, he did an extremely fine job, and the citizens of Nashua were greatly served by him, and us on the fire department really appreciated the work he did, so we wish him best luck in his new endeavors. Also, too, to our drivers out there, Halloween, be careful, leaves, wet weather, slippery conditions. Please watch out for the kids. And also, too, I agree with Alderman Lopez. Usually in the fire service, we said around whenever you change the clock, change the batteries in your smoke detector. It's very wise advice. So thank you, Alderman Lopez. And finally, please get out there and vote. It is your right. That's what makes the whole political system tick. So please exercise your right and vote next Tuesday. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. I too want to weigh in on Director Marchant and Director Cates. Director Marchant has been a fabulous Director of Community Development. She's done a lot for the city. She worked really hard to get this master plan done, and she did, and I thank her for that and for all the years she spent making it a better city. Justin Cates, the same. I think he was a valuable employee. I'm sorry to see both of them go, but Justin did a really good job for us here in the city and will be missed. Committee announcements. Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you. Just to remind everybody, there's a joint meeting of the Committee of Infrastructure and PEDC. That'll be tomorrow evening, Thursday night at 7 p.m. here in the chamber. If those of you wish to wear your Santa hats, feel free to. That'll be because of O2172 allowing free holiday parking in Zone 3. So, you know, it's our annual gift for that. So.
Could you clarify, you said tomorrow, but you said Thursday, so which
Did I
is it?
say Thursday?
You
It's
did.
Actually Thursday.
No,
Okay.
no, it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, okay.
Okay, well.
Like the audio going in and out.
Oh, no, that's okay. I'm gonna buy a calendar after this. Thank you.
Maybe someone will give one to you if you're good.
Other committee-
Stand corrected, so it is Wednesday night. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you. Alderman Dowd.
On Thursday, there will be a very short, I hope, joint special school building committee so we can pay some invoices. We'll get an update from the construction manager and the architect and pay the invoices, and it shouldn't be that long a meeting, but masks are required for everyone to attend. The Board of Education has said that anybody in the school at any hour of the day must be wearing a mask.
Alderman Karen?
Yes, thank you. Well, Monday, November 1st, is the personnel meeting at 7 o'clock. And we do have at least 6 people who are coming in for interviews. So it's really important that we have our committee members present, because we did have to cancel last month's personnel committee because we didn't have our quorum. So please, I know that Donna has already received notification from at least 3. So if the rest of you would contact her and let her know for sure, that'd be great, because I don't want to be scrambling with Donna to find someone to fill in. Thank you.
Other committee announcements? Committee announcement, Alderman Lou?
No.
Okay, that's what we're on. Any other committees? No? Okay.
I just wanted to let you know that I got a text saying Channel 16 had the sound went out
Okay.
about 15 minutes ago.
Thank you. Okay, Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to make a motion that the October 26, 2021 meeting of the Board of Aldermen be adjourned by roll call.
Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Cleet.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Karen.
Yes.
Alderman Clemons.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Tenza.
Yes.
Alderwoman Lou.
Yes.
Alderman Jettie.
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt. Alderman Laws. Alderman Cleaver.
Yes.
Alderman Harriet Gathright.
Yes.
And Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
All right, you have 12 yeas and 0 nays.
And we are adjourned at 8:24 PM. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.